Today, I would like to welcome our guest who had a powerful near-death experience, recalls leaving his body, entering higher realms. Life review, visions of the past and future. Welcome to The Returned.
You die and your soul leaves your body, goes back home to heaven. No, that's not the way it is. You're always there.
Hi, and welcome to The Return. Today, I am honored to welcome Andre, also known as the Alchemist 369, a conscious explorer, spiritual teacher, and an experienced out-of-body traveler. His work bridges metaphysics, inner mastery, and true nature of reality. Let's dive into his story and discover what's possible when we step beyond the veil. Thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you. Thank you, MJ. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Andre, can you tell us who you were before you found Darius J. Wright?
Yeah. So, and it's good you say that, because Darius J. Wright, meeting him and his teachings was like a turning point for me in my life. And that's definitely why, I'm on this path, on this trajectory. Before I found him, I was an engineer. I was an aerospace project engineer, manufacturing precise measurement instruments for space programs. Customers like NASA, Lockheed Martin, Boeing, like they purchased these parts from us, and I would manage those programs. I was married, had kids, very much just living an average, pursuing the American dream, you could say. A nice house, dogs, kids, pool in the backyard, sauna in the garage. But I was always trying to push the boundaries of like my consciousness. Like meditation and consciousness always interested me. And, I had sleep paralysis as a kid growing up. But at this time, I had no correlation to the two. So I was more so just, trying to see how far I could take my consciousness. So meditation and manifestation. I say manifestation because that's the first thing that I experienced that really told me, oh, this is real. Our thoughts do create our reality. So I started to manifest things in my life and like really going all in, meditating for an hour, 2 hours on a particular thing, and then see it happen unfold in my life rather quickly too. It got so strong to the point where I'd be at work thinking of something, wanting something to happen, and then minutes later it would happen. And I say, okay, this is enough proof for me. I know this is real. Let me see if I can take it to the next level. So then I got into like astral projection, like with the gateway tapes, and I started taking my consciousness out of my body, my mind out of my body. And I got so strong to the point where, in 5 or 10 minutes, just by doing some techniques that I created myself, just by focusing on a dot in my eyes, I would be able to come out. And then it got so strong to the point where it felt like I was being sucked out. Simultaneously to this, my mom passed away. She passed away in 2023. And when she passed away, she was sending me messages, like messages from the other side. One, that she was okay. I felt this sense of peace come over me because she was okay. And then another feeling that I got, or message, was that she was telling me I don't have to leave here to figure it out. Basically, like I don't have to die to figure out where we were going. Because she knew the path that I was on. Like I was trying to figure out life, like creation, right? So she said that I don't have to die to figure this out. And that told me like, okay, I'm on the right path. Like definitely keep going with this. And at that same time, I was in sleep paralysis like 3 to 4 times a week for months. I would wake up in sleep paralysis. But at this time, I never correlated the two. I never correlated sleep paralysis to leaving my body or having an out-of-body experience. I just knew if I could lay down and focus for 5 minutes, it would feel like I was being sucked out in a way that I had never been before. So I got scared. So I was on YouTube one day searching for answers to sleep paralysis, because at this time, I was getting hip to the fact that, how they hide everything from us, they hide the truth from us and things like that. So I started getting hip to that. So I wasn't going to go to a doctor and say, hey, what's this? Why am I having sleep paralysis? They weren't going to know. So I was searching online for answers, and it just so happened that I see Darius J. Wright. I see one of his interviews. I was like on Next Level Soul podcast, and I see one of his interviews. Now, the first time I seen him, I was like, I don't know. I'm not really going to watch this guy. And then I seen something, a short that said, "Paralysis is the gateway." And I said, I'm watching this. So I watch him, and everything he said resonated to me. And I immediately after that, I start watching I started watching all of his interviews, and I'm like, yo, this is everything I've been searching for, and I'm having sleep paralysis every night, and I've been trying to leave my body. I was like, this is just been searching for. So I signed up for his course, and it was just amazing, man. I found no holes in his story, and like I was trying to find holes or something that didn't line up, but there was no holes in this man's story. And what resonated with me most was he was telling us that we could do it too, that like we could leave our bodies too. So I'm like, yeah, I'm for sure signing up. So I signed up at his course and immersed myself in everything that he taught, man. Everything that he taught. I developed a solid understanding of everything that he's come to uncover. Then I started leaving my body myself. I practiced his method, every night for 3 months, every night just leaving my body, because that then became the most important thing to my life. As you understand that this is a temporary human experience. So what does that mean? That means that anything that once you leave here, that's the eternal aspect of yourself, right? So I said, that's probably the most important thing that I should be doing, is leaving my body, trying to figure this out, as that's the aspect of myself, and everything else that I'm focused on here is just temporary. That's what I did. And I started leaving my body and started trying to uncover these truths and travel the construct and beyond the construct myself. And that's kind of where I am now.
I've seen Darius's work. I've seen I can't remember where I seen it, but I have seen Darius's work. The construct, is that where he had like the layers?
Yeah, I think he showed this in an interview once, where within the construct there's 12 realms, and in each realm there's dimensional spaces. Yeah, that's like the overall view of it, but it's even like that's like the condensed version, right? It's
so there's some more than that.
Yeah, that's a great explanation. That's the overall, theme. But even within that, it's still big for sure.
Did you ever fear when you were leaving in the beginning?
Like I said, as I was leaving, as I learned how to astral project, and I even learned how to take it a step further than that, where I felt like I was leaving my body, having a full-blown OBE. And that scared me, because it was the way I was doing it, it was happening so drastic. It was happening so quick and so drastic. It felt like I was being sucked out, and I had no idea where I was going. You hear all these stories about hell. You hear all these bad stories about demons. I didn't want to see none of that, right? So I was very scared. Yeah, I was very scared.
So how did it turn out for you? Like, how did you go out the first time?
Oh, yeah. So, I like to say that I'd never had an out-of-body until like a full-blown out-of-body until I met him. But I was out seeing things before that. And, like I ran into a lot of different things. But my first full-blown out-of-body, it was very peaceful. Like you do feel the sensation of death. Like you feel like you're dying as you're leaving and stuff like that. But once everything was fine, because I understood what it was. When these things happen to you,
you do feel the sensation of death. What does that feel like?
Yeah, so when I say you feel the sensation of death, it is because you feel many types of ways. If you do it consciously, when sleep paralysis hits you, you can't move, and then you start to feel your soul levitate and stuff, like that's death.
Right, okay.
That feels just like that. And when sleep paralysis hits you, it hits you like a ton of bricks. So, and then you're going beyond that, when you're taking your soul out, it feels like death. It definitely does. But just beyond that, is the other side. And to get there, you have to go through that. It's just one of the things you have to do in order for your soul to fit 100% be fully there and conscious. You have to go through that process. Your body has to be naturally shut down. And the only ways that your body shut down to that extent is death or sleep paralysis. So that's just one of the things that you have to do. But once I'm out, very peaceful. The first time I was out, I don't really remember the exact first time. It's like I was having a whole bunch of experiences really quick at the beginning. Like I'd be floating above my body. I'd turn around, see my body, and be right back in. That happened a bunch of times. I'd be on the other side of my bed. I'd turn, I'd see me and my wife at the time sleeping. And then I'd be right back in my body. I'd leave, seeing a hooded being came to me in the beginning, which, I later understood that to be a seraphim, because one, Darius told me, and two, I've seen them after that. Mom
Really?
came to me early in the beginning.
I'm
yeah,
sorry, what was that hooded being called?
a seraphim. That's what we call them. That's the closest name that we have, and that's actually like when they come to you, you know, hooded like that. But in their realm, they actually look like the biblical description of a seraphim. And then my mom came. She came, and the first time my mom came, this was still in the beginning. That was even kind of scary for me. You know, that was like the first time a being touched me and like was talking to me. So like that scared the hell out of me, you know, because before that I was kind of just like leaving, trying to see my body. I didn't really see nothing around me or nothing. And then the first time it scared me. But I didn't even see her the first time. She just like sat on the bed behind me and touched the back of my neck, and I heard her voice say, "Hi, my baby." And that creeped the hell out of me. So I came instantly, was right back in my body.
Well, you were startled.
But yeah. And then I had conversations with her in body. I was like, all right, next time, don't do that. See me in my face first. I was like, I can handle
I did that to my dad when I first seen him. I like asked, like, don't ever do that again. Just like pop out of nowhere. Like nobody's ready to see something like that.
No, you know.
And I seen him. Like he was like literally standing there. So let us know.
Yeah.
You know, first.
Yeah, it's the same as like, say you're just waking up and say it could be even your grandma waking you up from sleep. Like if somebody wakes you up suddenly, you're going to be like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Especially when you're leaving your body, you've never came in contact with nobody. It's feeling for sure. But yeah, so I contacted her or spoke to her in my body, and I was like, listen, I got in a deep meditative state. I was like, listen, you can come to me. Like I want you to, but don't come from behind. If you come so I can see you, you know? Like, you know? So she did. And souls on the other side, like I've came to understand that they do that because it's just fun for them. Like you forget how scary it is from being a human to going there because that's just where you are, right? So they're just like, you're here, hey. So she came to me, and then the next time she came to me, it was much more pleasant. I was able to give her a hug and talk to her and you know, see how she was doing. She took me to some places, and yeah, it was a great time.
Wow, really? So this is all when you're out of your body, you can connect with your loved ones on the other side.
Nobody's ever gone. Nobody is ever gone.
Yeah.
And they're all still there, and chances are they're
look
waiting
like?
for you.
What do they look like?
My mom looked like she was younger, like age 30, you know, like the heavenly template. She looked like that. She looked younger. She looked healthy, vibrant, fun, exciting, you know. I've seen her other times too where she didn't look like that, where she looked like how I remembered her. But the first couple times, that's like what she looked like.
Interesting. And where is the place that she's located? What does that look like?
Yeah, so I don't necessarily know where she is all the time, but she did take me to like realm 5, heaven, and it looks like exactly like what you would think heaven would look like exactly, you know. She took me there, and that first time I went there, it was like a big experience for me. Like I just remember like feeling ecstatic. One, because I'm walking with my mom, right? That's just crazy in its own sense, right? And two, it's like as soon as realm 1 Earth and you get out of this electromagnetic field that like keeps our frequency in and our memories out, once you leave that, like the feeling just becomes so overwhelming. This is where like a lot of near-death experiencers, when they say it was felt just so amazing, so unconditional love, so everything. So it was like that feeling, but walking and like I'm just experiencing. So like I'm talking to people with this feeling going on inside of me. So like I was just ecstatic, man, just ecstatic, you know. So I didn't really get too much from that first experience, but there was one, I connected with my mom, you know. I knew she was okay. She's always trying to introduce me to some people. She's always like, oh, this is my son. She's still like always trying to introduce me to some people. Yeah, like, oh, I got to introduce you to my son, guys.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. But what that did for me was it allowed me to match that. So I had that frequency of that place. So now when I leave my body, I didn't need anybody else to take me there. Now I can go there because like I know what it feels like. Like I have that blueprint. So, you know, now as I left my body, I've been there. I went back there another time after that. And, you know, that's when I was walking around. I was a little bit more used to it and just trying to see like what was going on. And I seen people having feasts and they were drinking something. I don't necessarily know what they were drinking, but you know, I seen stuff like that.
When you were walking around and you seen people drinking, what do they look like? Like, is this like does it look like us, or is this a light body?
No, yeah. So they were definitely physical. It looks just like me and you. So like when I see my mom, she looks just like a physical person. Yeah, you know, especially everybody that I see on the other side, they're all physical. The idea that, you know, these beings are light bodies and stuff, that comes from seeing them when you're outside of that frequency, when you're still like in person, in body, when you don't have access to the full light spectrum. You know, you may see beings appear as ethereal. And I know this because when I'm leaving my body sometimes, if I'm moving my head, it may appear see-through. And after countless times, I came to the realization, oh, it's because I'm still on the other side of the veil and I don't have full access to the light spectrum yet. But as soon as you cross over to the other side, like fully step into your soul 100%, everything's physical and you can see everything for its true nature. You know, you can see everything the way it's intended to be seen, and it's more vibrant, more beautiful than here, and everything is physical.
And when you go out of your body, when we speak of the construct, is that what you see when you're outside of your body?
Yeah, outside of my body, like I said, I mean, the construct is big. So, like, I would even have no idea where I am if it wasn't for, you know, the knowledge that Darius was sharing. It's like, I'd have no idea. So, like, this is where I am. Like, if I ask them, they'll tell me where I am. And depending on how the next question I ask, I may get more context or something. But a lot of times they'll tell you and you'll just be like, okay, I know. And then you come back and you really don't know. But it depends. But yeah, for sure. It is massive. It is massive. I'm definitely inside the construct the majority of time, inside this universe traveling. I have been outside of it. That was in the beginning. That's like one of the first things I wanted to do was get outside the construct. As soon as I gained the ability to travel and stay out longer, because like I said in the beginning, I would leave my body and I would come back real quick. You know, it'd be real short-lived experiences. But as soon as I had the ability to go out farther and travel, and I learned how I can stay out longer, you know, one of the first things I wanted to do was go out and see the construct. So that's what I did. When you get out, it's massive. A lot of times you won't even know exactly like what you're looking at. You know, again, you know, when you learn from Darius, you'll know, and you'll be like, oh yeah, this is that, and a lot of your memories start to come back instantly. You know, for sure. So,
how long have you been going outside your body for?
I started in like December 2023, around there.
Okay.
And before that, I was like astral projecting and stuff like that for like a year or two.
So only 2 years, and you've gotten that far.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's understanding these principles. One, that you are your ultimate authority. Nobody can control you, right? Two, you are the creator of your reality. So what does that tell you? That tells you that anything that you want, you can do. And this holds true here in the physical, and it holds more true on the other side. So once I'm out, I'm just trying to push everything to the limit. And once somebody's telling you all these things exist, so I don't have to discover it myself, right? I just got to go see it. So it's a lot easier, and you can just push things to the limit. I've done things like I just sat and I was like, I want to go here. How can I go here? And I would just set my intention and focus, and then go through my mirror, and then on the other side, it would be there. It comes with time and just practicing things. And I just try stuff. Like I've manifested a rope to help pull myself out of my body. I've even manifested a dimensional space being to pull me out of my body. And when I asked him, I was like, who are you? He told me some crazy name. And I looked at him again. I said, nah, tell me who you really are. Like, you know, you just know that they're lying, right? So I was like, nah, tell me who you really are. And he looked me dead in my eyes and goes, I am a figment of your subconscious. I am somebody that you created to help you. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I knew I created him when I said somebody's helping me leave my body. So if you just play around with stuff, you can do pretty much just about anything. Like Like literally, you can do just about anything.
That blows my mind. What do you think the biggest misconception that people have about out-of-body traveling?
So there's levels to this too, because there's people that may not be into this realm. There's people that may not understand it. Then when you see out-of-body experiences, you think it's just like a dream, like, oh, they can go and dream or something. There's that misconception where they're like, they don't really understand what it is. And then there's people that like had a near-death experience and they understand when you say an OBE is a controlled near-death experience, then it triggers something and they're like, oh, wow. So now they know, right? But a common misconception, probably the biggest, is that, you know, it's not real, or it's subjective, or it's perceptional, which is not true at all. We have done experiments where we write things on a board and confirm it out of our body. There's a base reality. And once you understand things, you can even understand where people get things when they say it's all based off perception. You can even, once you get to a certain state and you get out and you see things for what it is, you understand, oh, that's why they think it's perception-based, because they're in their dimensional space. They haven't even reached base reality yet. They haven't, you know, that's kind of like why every near-death experience is different, because as soon as you leave, you're going to experience your own thought forms, basically, based off your vibration, you could say, based off your individual frequency, you could say. That's what you're going to experience immediately. And that's just like a dimensional space. It's not real. It's curated by our thought forms. You know, it's curated by your thought form. So you may see something that's subjective and personal to you, but it's not the base reality, because there is a base reality there too.
I'm curious to know, some people that do have near-death experiences, they experience kind of a religious or a hell, but religion plays a role in each part. And I always thought that would be coming from our self-conscious mind. So do you think that if I was to do this out of body, or anybody, based on what shape our subconscious mind is in, could that shape what we might be able to see outside of our bodies?
Exactly. Yeah, and that's why I say it's important when you're doing these things. That's why, like, I tell everybody, like, if you want to do this, go to Darius, because you will get the whole picture and you can do this and understand it. Right? That's essentially what's happening, right? As soon as you leave, because your thought forms go with you when you leave your body. Your thought forms, they stay the same. So what does that mean? That means that is an ultimate truth. There's fundamental truths of all things. One of these fundamental truths is when you leave here, who you are does not change. That's an undeniable truth. So what does that mean? That means if you believe in hell, and you, deep down in your subconscious, when it's judgment time and you're like, damn, did I really do everything right? And deep down inside, you may think about that one time you did something and you're like, damn, maybe I'm not worthy. And then you create your hell, but that's just created based off of your own belief, right?
That's what I thought.
Another fundamental truth is these dimensional spaces, even when somebody sees a scary being or something, it might not be hell, but they might just see a scary being or something. The moment you decide to laugh, or the moment you decide to reach out, or the moment you've had enough and you're just like, I've had enough, I'm not afraid anymore. The moment that happens, poof, it's gone. The being will disappear, or your hell will no longer be hell, and then you see the light. The moment that you've had enough, it ceases to exist.
What have you seen while you were traveling, as in beings?
Yeah, I've seen quite a few beings. So I've seen, I was actually just talking about this the other day, because like I see beings and like I don't remember them or like write them down too much, but I've seen some ETs. I've seen the blue ones, I think we call them the Arcturians.
Yep.
I've seen a purple one that looked like I seen a purple one. It looked, I don't know, the face was weird. It had like big eyebrows. It was a different facial structure than like a human for sure, and she was purple. I've seen ones that look like humans, but I know they're from another place, because I was like, how do I really know that you're from another place? Like I asked them this, and they're like, because we can do this, and then they transfer like some crazy energy through me, and I feel cold and hot at the same time. It was bizarre. But I'm like, okay, I believe you now. I've seen what people call the seraphims. I've seen bigger type of humans from Realm 3, what people would consider like the Anunnaki. I've seen them. I've seen some beings that like I don't even know like what they are. I've seen a dragon, I've seen a fairy, I've seen a little leprechaun type person, but it wasn't like it's not leprechauns are probably the ones that don't look exactly like they say in the fairy tales. It's a little different, but I've seen those. I've seen some stuff, and I've seen enough to know that like every mythical creature that they talk about like is real. I just accept that now.
I've listened to Darius, and now I'm listening to you. I know that they hide a lot of stuff from us. I am wondering what your thoughts on why do they hide all of this? And I don't know who they are, but I think you know what I'm getting at. But if this is all what we can do, anybody can do it. Why has this been hidden from us for so long? Do you think, or it's just an opinion?
Essentially it's because of control. Because of money, right? That's money is the biggest. When they say money is the root of all evil, you know, like where do you think that comes from? Because that gives you the illusion of control, the illusion of separation even further, right? And this is really like the only place where like money exists. And people get addicted to that illusion of control because, you know, on the other side, outside of here, that concept doesn't really exist. So souls come here and they get addicted to that illusion of control, right? And the number one way to entrap a soul is to make it believe something. When I just told you that I can do anything outside of my body just by the power of my mind, and I can still do that in here through manifestation and things just take a little time because we live through time. But the power of the mind is so powerful. So when you can control somebody's mind, you then control their reality. If I just told you that when you die and get out of here, if you believe in hell, that's what you're going to experience. The belief systems is everything. Right? So why do they hide stuff from us? They hide everything from us so they can control us, so we can stay in this monetary system, so we don't wake up, so they can keep going here. And you got to understand that a lot of the people in control, they have been here. They have always been here. Like, they don't leave. So
I know, definitely know.
Yeah, like they don't
I think
leave,
that they
so
don't realize how powerful. I think they're scared that if we are all to get to a place where we know who we really are, they're not going to stand much of a chance. So I think that's why they dumb us down or create so much fear. So your
And
vibration does stay low.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And once the highest vibration is truly unconditional love, authenticity, and integrity. It's like a combination of those three things, because unconditional love requires you to also be what? Authentic. Meaning, yes, you have unconditional love for somebody, but you also have to still be true to yourself and be real and honest. And what's integrity? Integrity means that you honest and you do things out of the goodness of your heart with pure intentions. Those three all go hand in hand. That's the highest form of vibration or frequency. Truly.
Do you feel that humanity is waking up?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely feel that. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. You know, and where I was going with that is once you overcome your fear and you have no fear and you understand these concepts that the other side is real and that you exist outside of here, you then become an uncontrollable soul. You then can't nobody control you because you know the truth, right? You know the truth. That's why they hide it from you. And once you understand these things and leaving your body and doing it in the way that I do it, the way that Darius does it, the way that we do it, that's what you understand. And you come back and you're an uncontrollable soul. And it's different. So yeah, humanity is waking up. I'm proof of that.
Yes, you are.
You're proof of that. You're proof of that. You know, we're all proof of that. The countless testimonials on his YouTube are proof of that. The countless YouTube podcasts that are talking about the other side, all the NDE.
It's really amped up. Holy, it really has. Like I've been studying this topic for about 20 years. I can't believe the amount of people that are coming forward. Yourself, just about different things too, like yourself. Like what about remote viewing? You know, all these different things. Is what you do, travel around, similar to remote viewing?
So you can say that, but remote viewing is more so you're just taking your consciousness out. Like you can I can sit down in a meditative state right now and just remote view and still be here and present with you. You can do that, but out of body experiences, it's the end of the line. I mean, you're taking your soul out, the thing that gives this body life. Like, you're taking this out and you're physically there on the other side, you know, so you can see these things. So it's a next
how
level.
you do
and
it.
You can. So I do it using Darius's method. That's just how I do it. I will say, you know, sleep paralysis is the gateway. And once you get to sleep paralysis, if you relax enough, you lower the electromagnetic field around you, your soul can leave. How do you lower your electromagnetic field? You lower your heart rate. Your heart is a pump. Your heart creates a field around you. So how do you lower that field? You lower it by lowering your heart rate. So once your heart rate dips down low enough, your soul will just naturally leave.
Do you listen to any music, or is this all in silence?
I do it either many different ways. Many different ways. I listen, you know, to binaural beats sometimes. Similar to like the gateway tapes, you know, 436 hertz in the right, 432 on the left. It creates 4 hertz and it connects your left and right hemisphere. I do that a lot of times with noise canceling headphones, just like these. Yeah, that helps. That helps get your brain to that state. But oftentimes, once I'm finally like getting close, I'll just take them off and just do it naturally, right? With just nothing.
Can you just come out of your body and just go like to a friend's house and just like them not see you?
Yeah, that's what I was doing at first. Yeah, that's why I say it's like you can essentially be a remote viewer if you're an out of body traveler. Yeah, you can do that. That's like what I was doing at first. Like I was just, you know, around my house, seeing things, seeing like around my neighborhood. You know, I still didn't like go into nobody's house or nothing because like it's just weird.
Yeah, it's
but like
kind
I
of
could
intrusive.
have, you know. Yeah, you know, you can do those things. That's why I said another important thing about this is integrity, right? Because even as humans, you know, we're very private and stuff. So when you're doing these things, you do it with integrity. Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
That's right.
By the time I started telling people about this, I was so far gone into it. Like, I didn't care about proving it to nobody. So, like, by the time I started talking to everybody about this, like, I had already experienced many different lifetimes of mine. Like, I had already been out. So, like, I wasn't really trying to... And it takes so much effort for me to leave my body. Like, I'm not going to just leave it just to go to somebody's house or something like that now. Like, I'm trying to get out of here.
I bet you can't wait.
Actually, wait about getting out, like crossing over? For a long time I did, but as you have out of bodies, you realize there's no real rush because this goes by in a blink of an eye. Once you're outside of here, it really goes by in a blink of an eye. And you understand that. Like, when I leave, and I've actually, like, relived some of my other lifetimes. And all of those felt like a blink of an eye. Even this one, when you step out and you look back and you think, it's like, wow, it's a blink of an eye. And once you're outside of here, you feel like a god. Like, you feel like you can do anything. So it's like, I can go back and be a human, you know? And then you get here, and then... your stomach starts to hurt because you're hungry. You forget that you got to go to sleep and things like that happen.
How has your daily life changed since this has been happening to you?
Yeah, so my daily life changed. Like, as I was leaving my body and stuff at first, I was a typical American, man. I was sitting down at a desk all day, come home, I would be at school all day. So I was very overweight, you know, all of that. So I started eating less, and I eat once a day. You know, you come back with love and graciousness because you understand we're just here having a human experience and it's tough for everybody. So you have a lot of understanding and compassion for everybody. No matter what somebody's going through, you're just like, damn, like, I understand, man. And even when somebody's talking to you a certain way and if they get angry, like, you're able to put yourself in their perspective and say, oh, I understand. That's why you feel like that. I would feel like that too. It changes everything about you. It changes everything about you. And that's just like my daily habits that it changed. Like, I eat once a day. I drink salt water all day long because we're electromagnetic beings. It helps conduce electricity. It changes everything about you. But the number one thing that it changed about me is I have no fear about anything, about nothing. I no longer fear money. I no longer fear not having money. I don't need that safety net. I no longer fear death. I no longer fear somebody harming me. I no longer fear. I have no fear in me at all. That's another another
That's a
big
plus.
thing. Yeah.
What is one truth about reality or consciousness that you wish that everyone on Earth would know or could know?
That you are eternal and powerful beyond measure. Truly, there are no limitations to you. You are limitless. And this human vessel puts limitations upon you, but the thing that operates this vessel is limitless. That's the underlying truth.
Limitless. I would love
Yeah.
to feel limitless.
You
What does
can.
it feel like when you come back to this body once you've been out?
All right, so there's levels to this too. So like say I leave my body, which when I say I was leaving my body like 2-3 times a week on average, I was, but like on average it ended up being like many of those experiences were just little ones. Like maybe I'll be in my house or just, out, because I might not have the full energy to really go that far, right? So when you just having an experience around here, let's say, or anywhere on Earth, like say you go anywhere on or around Earth and you just come back, you're gonna feel like the same. You might be thrilled that I got out of my body and I was just there, but that's just like a normal human emotion, right? But once you step outside of this electromagnetic field and you go through a portal that takes you somewhere and the really lifts and your frequency rises and you go to the other realms or you download some crazy information, you're gonna come back feeling ecstatic. You're going to come back like, you're going to feel electric. You are going to feel so electric, like you can do anything, like you can manipulate your energy. You're going to be tapped in, like you can see future events. You're going to see more of the light spectrum. I might not even be able to be this close to my laptop because it will start to burn me because the electricity between here and my laptop will be so intense. I remember feeling like I could do anything here in my physical. Like you might not need to eat as much, you might not need to sleep as much just because your soul's feeling your body at that point, like when you bring more of your soul's memory back. And like that's what I try to do, man. I try to get out and bring back as much as I can. You might not like I'm just being real, like you might not need to do nothing. That was so bad to the point I remember I had my phone in my hand one time. I'm like, yo, I know I can make this shit charge without plugging it in. But I couldn't do that, but I tried. Like you come back feeling like a god, and then you start remembering like what this place is and how these bodies were before. And these memories can even come back to you when you're in your body. You can just be sitting here after an experience. I think they call them downloads. Yeah. Like people say downloads and stuff. Yeah. Well, after an out of body, these downloads are so much more because you're like, you were just there. So like you're still connected. So like your downloads, they're really coming, and they come so strong. They come so strong to the point where like if I think of something, my body will even vibrate a certain way so I know if I'm perceiving it correct or if I'm perceiving it incorrectly. So like your memories will start to come back. You'll understand a lot.
Yeah, I have downloads. I get downloads, not like you, but I do get them. And I know when they come in. I always feel like they come in on my right side for some reason. It seems like everything comes in on my right side, but I know them because they're quick. They're not like me thinking of it. It's just like out of the blue and it just boom comes in. And then it's almost like I hear a voice, but it's not a voice. I don't know how to really describe it, but then I'll write everything down. I think it's maybe a little bit of automatic writing at the same time. Like you get the download and then you're writing it all down.
Yeah, it's like... Yeah.
I don't know how to explain
hundreds and hundreds of pages, man.
Yeah,
like
that's what I do too.
It's crazy.
Like I just get it and it's like, I don't know what to do. Like, what the hell? But I love it.
Yeah, I love it too. And the number one thing that I can say from coming out of my body is trust those downloads and trust those feelings 100%. Like if you ever feel something or you think something's coming in, trust that. Like, I know it's hard to say because, like, you might not really see it or know where it's coming from, but trust me. Trust it, for sure.
Okay.
It's real.
Yeah, I believe that.
And, like, they're coming through, yeah.
I heard you mention somewhere that undistorted knowledge from source. What does that feel like to receive, and how do you know it's the truth?
All right, so... there is such thing as perceptional information too, based off your perception. But I spent a long time clearing all of my belief systems and stop listening and reading things here and just keeping an open mind and knowing that like anything is possible. So like when I go to access something, I don't have preconceived notions on what I should see or what to expect. Subconsciously, maybe there's still some there, but I try to really, to the best of my ability anyways, receive and see things undistorted as much as possible. So what it feels like is it's a knowing. Like it's a knowing, and it's like you remember, you know, it's like your memories come back. It's just like me jogging your memory, like, hey, remember last Tuesday we went here and did this? And you're like, oh yeah, I remember. It's like that. It's just like that. You're like, oh yeah, I remember. At least for me, that's what it's like. Even things that I haven't seen before, when I leave, I come back and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this exists. I remember that. I remember this. It's like that.
What are the first steps someone would take to begin their own out-of-body exploration? Would that be to look up Darius's work?
Yeah, I always suggest to tell everybody to, you know, go to Darius to get the overall understanding of everything. This guy's been doing this for years. You know, he's got the overall blueprint of everything, right? Now, what I do is, you know, his stuff is really advanced. It's not for everybody. You know, it's really advanced, and sometimes people even have a hard time achieving it. But once you understand the basis and everything, you know, I try to help people navigate a little bit further or understand it the way that I was able to understand it, because I just did this not that long ago, right? I just did this, 2 years ago, and I'm like, okay, so I can understand where people were at before and how to get to that level, you know? So I try to bridge the gap a little bit and just try to help navigate and try to help people and explain things in a way that it makes sense to me.
How important is the inner work before you prepare to go do the OBs? I'm guessing that it's pretty intense. You should have like all your inner work done when you decide, right?
Yeah, you should. So when I say the OBE is the end of the line, it is. Like, so all that meditation and all that spiritual practice everybody's talking about doing here, yeah, you kind of should have all that shit done before you try to come here. And I say that because your inner demons, your inner thoughts, they'll present themselves to you. So like if your field is out of whack or your thought forms are crazy, you're going to leave your body and you're going to see that. It's gonna present itself to you. Like I'll say this, so like as I was leaving, before like I met Darius, like I'd be leaving my body, like when I was in the astral projection and like figuring it out. Before I met him, I'd leave and I'd see like Michael Myers, I'd see like Freddy Krueger, I'd see like
oh my gosh,
things being done. I'd see like things being done to my wife, my kids. I just know it was from my thought forms, my own subconscious, my own. But then as soon as I found him and I was like, oh, there's nothing to fear. I remember the one time, Mike popped out, I forget if it was Michael Myers or Jason or something. He opened up a door to me and he was like, you got to come this way. And he was like, yo, you got to come this way. I'm like, no, I don't. I'm not going. I was like, no, I'm not going there. And I just turned around and he was gone. You know, that's what I mean when as soon as you realize that it's your own doing, your own thoughts, it will disappear. So
it's all a figment
how can you,
of your imagination that you created that there.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, if you see something, you know, not good, that's exactly what it is. And knowing this, that's why I'm out telling people this, because so when you experience it, if you just say, oh yeah, Andre said this isn't real, I don't have to do this. And then boom, as soon as you have that realization, they're going to go away. You know what I mean? It's that easy. Doing the inner work is very important because you also want to stand true in your signature. When I say integrity, authenticity is the best, you want to be in a good place when you're traveling and be in these places. You want to clear your field. You want to have no, you know, to access a lot of these things, you want to have no malintentions, and a lot of malintentions, it comes from human desires, like the need to be greedy, the need to have this for success, or all of those preconceived notions to want to be somebody or something here. Once you get over all that, you'll have no issue navigating the other side. So yeah, I'd say, you know, inner work is it's not necessary, but it's helpful to have your thoughts in check. Otherwise, or you can just confront it. Also, the easiest way to do your inner work is to have an out of body and just confront it right then and there. But it helps. It certainly helps to do that beforehand, for sure.
I know fear is a big block for people. I feel that if they don't overcome the fear when exploring, that some could have a really poor experience, that they would be forced to face their fear, basically.
Yeah. So honestly, in the out-of-body community, you know, I haven't heard anybody that's done this under Darius that has had like a real negative experience. I haven't, it's just non-existent in the way we do it, because you understand the principles. You understand the fundamental truths that you are your ultimate authority, that there is nothing to fear, that you are the creator of your reality. That's what you understand before you even do this. So once you get out, I mean, even those thoughts may even come, man. Like sometimes when I'm leaving, like before I leave, sometimes those thoughts come, like the fear of the unknown will still be present even after you've done it, 20, 30, 40, 50 times. The fear of the unknown may still be present because, you haven't seen everything,
Right.
So you still don't know for sure what happens when you're coming from that human perspective. But you just got to trust and have faith and believe people like myself, people like Darius, people that have done this and are telling you, like, listen, you're okay. There's nothing to fear. And once you believe that and you just do it anyways, once you come out, you'll see there is nothing to fear. There's nothing to fear but fear itself. That's one of my favorite quotes. And people a lot of times ask me, how do you overcome your fear? I just tell them, you just do it anyways. You just got to face it. It's like going to bungee jump, but you're scared of jumping. All right, well, you're not going to overcome that fear. If you're really scared of taking that leap, you're not going to all of a sudden, the only way to overcome that fear is to jump. And then it might not be until you jump and spring back up, and then you're like, that was fun. There's nothing to fear, You kind of just got to face it.
You have an interesting life. How many times a week do you come out of your body, or is this a daily thing?
Yeah, so at one point, when I was in America and I was living by myself, I was leaving pretty consistently, like on average 2 to 3 times a week. And like on a bad week, it'd be like 1 or 2. On a good week, like 3 or 4. But like I said, even then, a lot of those experiences may just be small. Maybe me just perfecting the exiting process, or me waking up in sleep paralysis, or me waking up in the vibrational phase and just figuring out how to navigate there and then coming out, or just trying to create a portal in my room or just something. But about once a week for sure, I'd be out, like traveling, like out there for sure. And then after I made the move, I moved like July 1st, I think. I've came out spontaneously like 3 times since then. But I shut it down and came right back. My thought forms were too crazy. Like when I was in Egypt, it was a crazy environment. So now I'm just starting to get back into it. I practiced last night. I didn't have success, and I'm sleeping really heavy right now, so I'm not able to wake up in the states that I was in because I'm working out and stuff. So it's been about 5 weeks since I've had a real big experience. I'm really diving back into that now and taking time. So I'm consciously trying to leave my body about 2 to 3 times a week. And what that does is it reprograms my subconscious and allows me to tap back in. I don't know a time frame, but if I had to guess, I'd say within the next week or 2, I'd be leaving consistently again.
And how is your family with this? Do you teach
they're
them
good.
or talk to them about it?
Yeah, of course. Everybody knows, once the seen can never be unseen, the remembered can never be forgotten. Once I remembered, I just know this is the truth. So I don't care what anybody says. And my family also, they're pretty spiritual. I mean, they're not to the level that I'm at. I tell them I'm leaving my body. They're all interested and they want to know more, but they might not fully understand it all the way. But yeah, they support it. I mean, they know I was always the type that for me to believe something, I really had to see it. They're like, yo, if Andre's doing this, it's got to be real. There's got to be something behind this.
Do you ever see a time in the future that we may be taught to do this on a bigger, grander scale?
Yeah, I do. That's what we're trying to do. Yeah, and naturally, once you open up, even just naturally for a lot of people, I mean, not everybody, but naturally, as soon as you open up to this and you realize that it's real and this is a possibility, they might happen spontaneously for you. If you just go to sleep and you think about it, a lot of times when I leave my body, I don't even have to go through the whole method. I just literally lay there and I think about the feeling, and then I just go to sleep, and 5-10 minutes into my sleep, I'm out. So I'm under the belief that that can happen to everybody, but I just understand that it's also a certain state of being and consciousness that you have to be in prior to that. I'm basically in a meditative state all day long for periods at a time. And when you're like that, you're just basically pretty tapped in and connected, so you can just tap in and match that frequency and go to sleep and you'll be out. And I'm out of that state now, because a lot of changes are in my life and stuff. that's why I'm consciously shutting down my body. I'm back to the basics, trying every day, but yeah.
You have a website, and can you tell us what you can do on the website or what it's for?
Yeah, so on my website, I do offer one-on-one services if you guys are curious, or if this brings your attention, or if you're practicing and having trouble, or, if you just are curious about the nature of reality, or like what I've, come and talk to me. I can help you guys along the way, along the process. I also have a member section where, I host, Q&As, just trying to build a safe community for people. And I'm going to be posting some of my experiences there. And, there's a chat for people to talk about these things on there. Just trying to build a solid community.
Can someone get a hold of you on there?
Yeah, I would say, if somebody wanted to get in touch with me, just go to www.thealchemist369.com. All my links are there. You guys can contact me from there for sure.
That's perfect. So I will have all those things, all his details down into the link. And I want to thank you very, very much for time today. Do you have
no problem. Thank you.
one message for humanity?
One message would be the simple truth that you are eternal, you exist outside of here, and you are loved deeply.
Thank you so much for sharing your truth and showing us the possibility beyond the physical. Your journey reminds us that we're more than just these bodies. We're energy, awareness, and infinite potential. For those of you who are watching, until next time, stay open, stay curious, and keep returning to the truth within you.